Hi everyone, this is Zeeshan Ahmad Khan, founder and CEO of Zimension. And today we are taking a really interesting session, which is on how web technology is gonna change how we perceive game development and even playing the games. So, Mr. Vignesh, shall we get started? All right. So this is, as you can see, I hope everyone is able to see my screen. So this is me. I am a mechanical engineer, and I have, always have a very keen interest in 3D visualization and like how we perceive depth in reality. And due to that, even after my engineering, my core interest was in creating CAD application where you sort of design different parts. And but unfortunately, I didn't got good initial opportunity in design. Hence, I started my career in core manufacturing and production inventory management. But during those times, I figured out like the how much tech is lacking. So at that moment, I've started creating my own product where you can actually upload your 3D file and visualize in 3D. And that's how I started learning to code, and 3D rendering science, computer graphics, all those things, so that I can, render a 3D model onto a browser. And that essentially led me to creating, CAD applications. And after getting more hold on 3D applications, CAD file visualization, optimization, I eventually end up creating more and more such 3D application. Also, a metaverse platform which has now evolved to Zimension, which I'll show you. So, the core idea is why can't like users who are non-technical should be able to create a 3D environment without writing code by just simply picking and placing different objects. So that's my journey, and I've been working into this field from 8 years or more. And my core experience is basically in 3D visualization, virtual reality, and all those stuff. So let's get more deep into this topic, which is why web technologies are disrupting game development. All right, so well, web is evolving. It's not how we used to perceive web earlier. It's no longer a static content, and like the key driving factors here are, you know, it is actually becoming our primary interface. Most of the application that we use are on web browser. Like in today's workflow, the first thing that a user do is open web browser tab and open chat gpt and start working. This is the era that we are entering. But even though if you check other apps like Google Sheets, or maybe logging in WhatsApp from your web browser, so like browser is becoming an essential part of our daily routine in life. So it's you know it's it went from rendering documents to running actual 3D applications now, which we'll cover. And even like today, it's not like we are having a very old school PC. Our even our mobile phones are very powerful. They have a well equipped GPU and a CPU. And uh, even a very small device will have a very good compute power. So let's look at like how a web browser or a web content used to look like if we go like in all the way back to .com bubble. So this is a Yahoo screenshot of a Yahoo page from that time, and you can see like how messy it is, and it has nothing but a bunch of images and links where user can go and check out different website. It's more like a newspaper, like where the content is randomly placed, not randomly placed in a manner so that you can just read and go to or surf web basically. This is how, like, in late 2000s, we entered a dynamic web workflow where you can create an, highly visually appealing dynamic websites and applications where you can visualize data and, do something similar to what a software can do. Right? And today, if you see, we can run a very high performant web-based applications. I'm talking about something similar to a Photoshop, like what Canva is doing, where you can create very high quality images or even videos from directly from your web browser. Because now browsers are equipped with well control over CPU and even GPU, so that you get the best performance and best output of that can be harnessed from your machine. So in the nutshell, you can see we are surrounded by all the applications that are running on web browser. Like I barely see people, opening Excel sheets. Like people are now even using Google Sheet instead of downloading Microsoft 360 Office. And even Microsoft 360 Office is also now supports web, and you can open your account on web browser itself. Also, a key driving factor here we have to take in account is the user behavioral change. So this is like how a traditional gamer ecosystem will look like, right? So here we have person, just imagine, go back 10 years or 20 years ago where you want to play a game on PC. First you have to, find the files, I'm not even talking about the authorized files. You have to find the files, install it, then check the compatibility of your device. It takes forever to download a game. Then it can be it may not be compatible with your current OS. You have to check the version. You have to think about how much space you are having. You have to manage your space to put a game in. And on the right hand side, this is kind of a workflow that we guys are entering. You find a nice game, your friend recommended it, and you're just clicking on a link, and that links directly opens your game, and you start playing without worrying about all this hectic stuff. And now, even like, due to the bombardment of content creation and platforms like Reels, TikTok, they have reduced our attention span to a very, very small level. So we actually have lost our patient mind where we are waiting for something to download just to play for a few hours. We want things to be real, really fast, We want them to instantly be accessed by our device. So imagine a game where it takes a lot of time to download, install, and all those things. You are able to open the link just by clicking on a link. So that's why URL sharing and opening behavior are going to be very prominent. And most of the major softwares, as I told earlier, are already in web browser. They have figured out, okay, like users are no longer want to download and install in any application. So why not create a web version? So even all these huge brands that you see on this slide, they are actively working on optimizing their web version of the software because they have cracked it out. Like, users are retaining more on the web versions of their actual app, even though they say download the app, but they know where the traffic is. And powerful mobile, laptop, all these hardwares are enabling this ecosystem. They are, acting as a catalyst to, boost this user behavioral change. Yes, this is a very important point. The lower you have friction, higher is the engagement. So let me give you an example, right? So let's say you have created a wonderful game. You spend a lot of hours, in creating that game, and now the time has come for the truth, and you want to test it out with your friends. So maybe you'll share a link or an image which will open up a distribution platform like Steam or Play Store, and it will ask the user to install and download. But the moment that happens, people subconsciously become an accountant of their storage, and they will say, okay, I have to download and install this game, another, useless app on my phone. So maybe I'll do it later or check it out later. But on the other side, if somebody clicks on that link and it shows a play button instead of all this, download, install, all those things, user will have a higher chance of clicking on that button and playing the game. And if your game is really engaging, he will end up playing that game for several minutes. So if you're a game developer, this is like how a traditional workflow looks like, right? You create a game with all of your efforts, your team, and everything. Then you have to build and compile the game. So since you're writing the code and you're using a traditional game engine, you have to first compile and build the code. It is a time-taking process, and there is a high chance that that your build can fail. And there is some error which is taking hours to fix. Then even though your game is built, now you have to submit the entire game to the store. I mean, it looks simple, but it is a tedious process. You have to, write a lot of things about the game, select a lot of permissions. You have to upload the content, media for your game. Then, depending on the publisher, you have to wait until your game is finally live and published. There is a manual process of evaluation of the game. What is the content right for the distribution platform? And if you're uploading to App Store, then it takes forever. Their validation process is very, very humongous. Then let's say the game is published. Finally the date has come that the game is published. Now your user has to download the game, download and install the game. And after the user has finally downloaded and installed the entire game, then he's able to play, right? So this is like a traditional workflow. But if let's say if we start removing the installation barriers, more users will try to experience your game, right? Viral growth happens when you share via simple link, right? Like how we are any reel is getting viral. You're just sharing it through link, or sending reel to your friend, and that's how the even apart from the algorithm, that's how some of the contents get viral. And web is the fastest distribution platform. Why I'm saying, because the user may or may not have the same application, or they will not install it, but everybody has a browser, right? So if you share a link, whether the person is sitting on a laptop or a mobile phone, or even in virtual reality, he can open the link. So this is the modern workflow which I'm talking about. When you create a game, share a link, and users are able to play. That's it. And I'm not saying usually when we say web games, people think about Sudoku or chess. No, I'm talking about full 3D games, a double A game graphics, like playing a GT or something. There was recently, a video came on YouTube where a guy was playing GTA Vice City, a ported version of GTA Vice City on his browser, Chrome browser. Yeah. So what are the technical breakthroughs? And this is, if you're a tech user, then this is a very important point for you. Like what is actually driving this very nature of shifting users or gamers to the web browser? Well, there are two main technological breakthroughs. One is web GPU and another is WebAssembly, which we call WASM. So essentially, web GPU brings the lower level GPU APIs in control of your browser, so that by writing the code, you can have full control over your GPU, and you can directly access the buffers and memory inside it. On the other hand, WebAssembly enables you to run highly powerful C++ libraries. And why I say powerful? Because until today, C is the fastest language. Whatever codes and libraries written on C++ will be fastest. And the example I earlier gave about YCD being running on your web browser, they actually used WebAssembly to compile the old game libraries and to run them in the browser. Well, these two technologies together, the gap has bridged to a level that you will not tell a difference whether it's a web or a native game. Also, since like this is a technological breakthrough, you both Unity and Unreal, even Blender, they are all exploring this new technologies to make the user workflow seamless. Even now, you can export the games from Unity and Unreal for web in terms of web GPU. Yes, so this is a very key diagram. This is how a web browser is getting superpowers. One with WebAssembly, where you are able to use all the important libraries and faster libraries written in C++ and run it through your CPU. And with Web GPU, you can directly access the modern APIs like Vulkan, DirectX 12, and Metal. Metal is basically the graphics driver for graphics API for Apple devices, and even Apple is doing a lot in gaming. Trust me, they are up to something. I have recently seen their developer conference, and they are stretching on game development and opening more and more stuff from the Metal APIs. In fact, even the ray tracing, their modern GPUs are very good with ray tracing. So here are a couple of visuals in regards to web GPU. So these demos are available in 3js.com and 3js.org, where if you go to examples and search web GPU, you will find all sort of things, where we have water simulation, then we have simulation of millions of objects, like particle effects. We also have overlay materials, like we see, the pixelation behavior on an existing 3D model. Then we have particle effects like fire and all. Then we have hundreds and millions of lights working together, and even meshes. So you see all these horses. So imagine, millions of enemies or NPCs walking around. So you can do that with web GPU, because the instructions of animations are directly sent to the GPU itself, and so that the load on your CPU is very less. So even in Zimension, we have done a couple of experiments with web GPU, and results are very astonishing. uh, you see one image on the left hand side, it has like some pixelations, and the post processing is not that good, and performance is always lesser. But on the right hand side, the same world, everything is same, but it's just running and utilizing web GPU. So we see a very sharper edges, and even like the bloom and the post processing looks so good, and the performance is also very high. And this performance is ridiculously high when it comes to mobile devices, and especially Apple devices like iPhone, iPad. Web GPU based rendering is so good. Hmm. So user attention span has shrunk. I have already mentioned this point, but hear me out. Average user attention span for digital content is shrinking very rapidly. I mean, like even if you don't like a reel for 2 seconds, you will swipe it up. You won't bother to see, what's there, and what is the best part of this reel. You have to impress your user in just 3 to 4 seconds. That is how your attention span has been reduced. Well, player often try multiple experiences before to decide that which game I'll be playing or which content I'll be sticking. So instead of like, just searching and playing a video, they see like whether this video is good for me, it has the right content and the context that I want to learn. And then they save it for later, and then they plan, okay, I will watch this video. Same will happen for games as well, right? So since this behavior is coming, there is a huge opportunity for games. I mean, look at the image on the right hand side. You see a guy, it looks like he's scrolling reels and trying to find the right video to watch. But on the other hand, if you see on his screen, there are like hundreds of games. So imagine if this isn't about playing reels, or it's all about playing games. So from hundreds of games, he's selecting which game looks interesting. Then he play it for 1 or 2 minutes, and if he likes, he will keep playing that game or switch to next game. Yeah, because attention span is getting lesser and lesser. So here, there is a very good opportunity, which all the fellow game developers should capitalize on. So instead of making one large multiplayer game, which you can spend years to create, you can prototype actually smaller games, multiple smaller games, and short games are easy to share and experiment with. I mean, like if you are talking about a AAA title, GTA 6, it's taking forever to make, right? It has been uh, more than 11 to 12 years when the first game came out. Like, not the first game, GTA 5, the previous game came out. It is taking forever and billions of dollars. Like, they say that the budget of the game is around 2 billion. So instead of putting everything to eventually end up failing, why not create multiple short games and see like how they go in the market? And you will even have more odds of getting success. So this is like a very prime example of what's happening. So you see the Concord game. It's a famous game that failed miserably, and the budget was 200 million, and it took 8 years just for the one game, and the game didn't perform well. I mean, how ridiculous is that? But on the other hand, imagine if a studio or the same guys, they would have spent like a 20,000 or something, and in 6 months they have created, let's say, 20 mini games, right? 20 even 3D games, small games. So yeah, most of them will not perform well, but few of them will be. And the games that are doing good in the market, they can actually make or invest more into such games or make a bigger version of those games. That way you have more odds of getting success in current volatile market. Earlier, people used to play the game regardless whether the gameplay story is good, because there were very few games. But due to the saturation of all these engines and all, anybody can make a realistic game. And to be honest, realism is not valued today. It has taken everyone is taking realism for granted, because an indie developer can make a realistic scene with using Unreal Engine. So for this opportunity, there is a very amazing platform which I've built, which is called Zimension. So it is a no-code game development platform where you can directly open it in your web browser and start uploading your own 3D models, or use the hundreds and thousands of models we have in our library, and just pick and place, configure them, and your world is done. So it's very simple. Like, you build the game. By build, I mean create the game in Zimension, publish it, and share it instantly. It's that simple. It also enable all the developers to leverage all these modern technologies like web GPU and all. And you don't have to worry about this complex learning curves and the mechanics and learn to code, because it's a no code platform. And all pretty much logics that are required in a basic game are already handled over here. It is very ideal for prototyping your idea, even though we are making full-fledged games on this platform. But you can, let's say you get an idea, you have a rough, 3D model of your character and a storyline. So you can quickly prototype it in Zimension, show it to investor, and maybe start creating full-fledged with the funding. But since this is a no-code platform and the game development time is very, very short, like I'm not even talking in hours, I'm talking in minutes. You can make so many games in such a less amount of time. You can reuse the assets. You can publish hundreds of games in a month, and see yourself what's happening. The real use cases, as I mentioned, is to prototype your games instantly. Studios are testing game concepts very quickly. So, like, let's say like how What if I have five enemies instead of 10? Like all those sort of testing and trial and error can be done here. You can monetize your game assets. So let's say you are a very good 3D artist. So if you are uploading your models in Zimension, you can monetize it with in the same manner how Canva monetize their assets. Like if more and more unique users are using your assets, you always get those details in your dashboard, like how many people are using your 3D models in their own games, and that way you'll get some recurring revenue. And enterprises creating XR content and demos. So in Zimension, you can actually create a virtual reality experience. And with virtual reality, as in like even if you place a simple cube, you can experience it in virtual reality. If you want to pick up something, you just have to click one button, whether this object is pickable or not, adjust the model in hand, and you'll be able to pick that item up in virtual reality. So you're building the game once and playing on several multiple devices. So these are a couple of games that are made using our platform. It's running in web browser and they are created in web browser. So again, I just want to clear, you don't have to download anything. You just have to open Zimension3D.com and start building. These were the couple of very good games which were made during the game jam we had in August. And you can see this is a custom character of a mouse. And on the middle image, you see it's more like a AAA type of graphics where high quality assets and characters are used to make a story. And we have like hundreds and thousands of customizable items in library. Customizable as in like you can change, just like Canva, you can change few parameters and they will react to it. Like you just change the value and it will update the model. Let's say there's an image, so you just have to upload an image will be bound to whether it's a billboard, poster, TV, etc. So let me give you a demo. This is how create a new game in Dimension. So I'm setting the environment here. We have presets of background images. You can adjust the sun. You can set up the ground. Adding items very simple. Just click anything from the library. You can press Control Shift D to duplicate it. This is like a customizable item that I was like talking about. I'm changing the color, writing the text. That's it. I don't have to do any complication. Boom, your game is ready. You just have to play test. You can see everything is handled: character control, physics, collision, everything. You don't have to do anything. I think I have set this thing up within a minute. Publishing is very simple. Just you have to press one button. This will essentially make all the changes you have made public. That's all. Yeah, you can copy this URL here. Oh, I'm opening this link in a browser and you can see. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, if you want to share your world, you can directly add the email and just give the access to any of your friend, and you guys can real time collaborate on building this, your game. And yeah, this is like a proper method where you can copy the link, and this link actually opens a very good thumbnail when you share it on your social media. Okay. So exporting game, a lot of you must be thinking, okay, your platform is good, but what if I want to export the game out of Dimension? What if I uh, like I don't want any dependency inside Zimension. One second. Yeah, what if I don't want any dependency inside Zimension? I want to export it out and share it on any other distribution platform that I like. So for that, we do have that functionality, and to enable it, all you have to have is a premium account, because since you're exporting the game out of Dimension, that is required. So you can export your game in Windows format, like in exe format, where it will give you a zip file where you just have to extract and click on the ex executable and start playing your game. It runs on Windows. The performance is really good. It's independent. Also, let's say you want to have a web game, but you want to host it on your own website. So we can also export the web static files. Again, it will be a zip file, and you have to just extract those file into your public folder on your website, and the game should work. Also, if you want to experience something with Apple Vision Pro or something, you can just export the entire scene in USDZ format, or you can also export the entire scene in GLB format. Yeah, so you can export your game in different formats. We are also working on the Android version where you can actually be able to export it as an APK. And yeah, as I told you, the web version export is very low. I mean, within 10 MBs, you can export your entire game. So these are, couple of comparison as compared to traditional engines, like, Unity will take around 50 MB plus. Unreal will always go above 100, 120, 250 something. And with Dimension, you can export a very basic 3D game around 10 MB size. So this is a very basic procedure of exporting your game to ext. Hi everyone, this is Zeeshan. So again, I'm creating a new world, and we have added this template functionality where you can directly create your world from templates so that you have things to check. See, I have loaded a world from a template and I'm able to play it. Now the time has come to export it. So you have to, yeah, you of course need to have a premium account. You have to click on export button, and then there are different options, and you have to click export the game as exe. So now it is, preparing all the resources, downloading all the dependency file, and you can see it's preparing our entire package in zip file. Okay, so now is downloaded. You can see on the top. Yeah, you just have to extract those file into a folder and click on this Zimension desktop app exe. See, now the game you are seeing is actually running on Windows as an executable. Yeah. So you must be wondering, if it's a no-code engine, then how do you handle any sort of logic here? Like an enemy is playing certain animation or attacking you. How do you do that? So for that, we have an event system where you can actually trigger different behaviors in along the world or along the world items. And like for example, let's say there is a zombie which will stay idle in idle position, but let's say I want to make him attack on a particular event. So I will create an event called zombie attack by just typing in the field and creating a new button. And that way, on this event, I will trigger the animation of attacking. Similarly, so this is like on the right hand side, you can see this is how you're gonna basically trigger something. So let's say if you're interacting with an object, it will trigger an event which will either play animation or change a variable, and it can also check a condition whether it checks the value of a variable, and then trigger another event. So basically there will be an event chaining, just like a flow chart. We used to learn flow chart in our school, and now we have a full-fledged application that where you can create the game logic with a flowchart workflow. It looks very similar to flowchart, and this is like how we have the logic workflow, where you select the trigger event and then you can select what should happen, whether it should trigger more events or change variable or check condition. So here we are checking a condition where we are checking whether this variable is greater than a particular value. If true, then trigger this event. If false, then trigger something else. It's pretty simple. And yes, so with our platform, you can create everything from your web browser, and you can share it across multiple devices, including virtual reality. So imagine, just chilling with your iPad, making a really amazing game, and your, a gamer friend sitting all the way on the different part of the world. You share him the link. He is ready with his Xbox controller. He'll be able to directly play whatever game you create. And even in XR, if let's say there's a child who wants to explore something in virtual reality, he will place certain objects like a car, tree, or something, and then instantly he is able to play or experience that thing in immersive way in virtual reality within minutes in his own virtual reality device. So you don't have to learn to code and add those hand and mesh and all those rig. All you have to do is create a world or a basic game, and you'll be able to experience that in virtual reality. Well, why this matters to industry? A very interesting question. Faster time to take market to ideas. As I said, prototyping is super simple. So, if you have a game idea, you don't have resources, use Zimension, prototype it, show it to investors. Lower barrier for new creators, and I believe these barriers will become very huge, because with AI, coding is gonna become irrelevant. People will not choose that field, so we will have very, very, very less amount of coders, and people, there will be more people from the creative side, but they won't invest their time to learn this complex coding and engine, or they just want that thing to be out there in the market. So if the friction is very low, if a platform like Zimension is allowing a user who is a non-technical user, maybe he's from the art side, I'm very sure they will choose Zimension and choose not to go down the technical route and waste their time. And since this web technologies are getting better and better, the friction is very, very, very low. When it comes to genre here, people will like to play multiple games in a less amount of time, rather than playing a triple A game with very high graphics on their couch, on their TV. They just like to play multiple short games, maybe on their work desktop, or their mobile phones. Well, web isn't replacing native. To be honest, native is native, but it is becoming like a major parallel platform, and as I told you, most of our time goes to a web browser. Even the way I'm putting out this session live is through Google Meet, and it is running in web browser, and you guys are, most of you are watching on a who are watching on a desktop is watching on YouTube on your browser. So we are already surrounded by a web workflow. So here is an image who, a guy who's making a game inside his web browser on his MacBook, and he'll be sharing it to his friend through a link. So there are the key takeaways from this session is web is the next major platform for gaming. Modern hardwares and web GPU WebAssembly is making significant improvement and catalysts in promoting this web first behavior. Low friction will result in higher engagements, and you can try it out. If your link plays, then your install it will always perform better than your installable games. Short games are the new strategic opportunity. So instead of investing your life saving into one game, try making multiple short games and see like which one is performing. And to create short games, you need platform where you can prototype them instantly, which is Zimension, right? So this is how this is something that drove me to build this platform for the future. And yes, platforms like Zimension are a huge leverage for making short games instantly. So if you wanna try, as I mentioned, the scanners are here. So web GPU version is also there, but I believe in the very latest update, we have added a functionality where you can quickly toggle between web GPU and WebGL, which is the older version, by just one click, and your game will be running through web GPU. You don't need the other link here. So yes, prototype faster, instantly, and reach globally via Zimension. So that's conclude the session. I would love to hear any question and answers from you guys. So yes, I know there will be lots of different questions regarding the platform, whether we can do this, whether it supports that, like how is the performance. I get those questions a lot. So it will be better if you can take any questions. Somebody asked, yeah, multiplayer system. So yes, we have a multiplayer system, and there's another interesting thing that we are doing is we are actually doing a community project where we like it's a project where multiple people joins with no profit intentions, and they create a project where all the progress will be shared openly. So that will be essentially a multiplayer shooter game, like a battle royale or TDM match kind of a thing, where you can just open a browser tab and start playing with your friend. That's all. Very simple. No, no any complications. But the coming back to the main question, how do you support multiplayer system? So it's pretty simple. Maybe I'll show you the demo directly. Just give me a moment. It's very simple. First, I'll open Zimension3D.com. Yes, we were working on this amazing prototype there. You can follow the character. So to turn on multiplayer, let me create a basic world for you. Let me create this no world again. So there is just one button that you have to click to make the entire game multiplayer. That's all. So if you go here in the world basically means a game. So it's evolved from a metaverse platform. That's why you will see a lot of usage of earlier words like world. So you have to go here. These are the options, and you just have to click this multiplayer. Once you enable multiplayer, if people are able to open your public URL of your shared game, it will ask them to select a character, and within those characters, they will they will be able to play that game using that characters, and you will be able to see different characters roaming around the world. And after the launch of shooting mechanism, which we launched 2 weeks ago, you can actually attack other people, and it will show you the amount of kills that you made. So, if let me check whether I can give you a demo or not. But yeah, multiplayer system is that simple. You just have to check this box out, and if I play, it should ask, instead of directly opening the world, it will ask me to select a player. See, now it is asking me to choose from different characters, and you can also actually limit the characters, like how many characters you want to be selected. So right now it is just showing everything from the library itself. So if I open, this is kind of a dev version. Okay, if I go exit. So we already have this multiplayer game, which we are testing a lot. So right now you see there are limited characters over here, only low poly, because you know if we are using a high poly character inside a low poly world, it doesn't make sense, right? You can see the character is there. I am able to pick up a gun and I can start shooting. If the player joins here, I am able to kill him. And to do that, it is a very simple thing. All I gotta do is, I'm talking about the character selection. I will have to click on avatar. This is my primary avatar, but since it's a multiplayer and I have checked on this option of limited character, I can select on these green boxes. See? And whatever green boxes I will select, those character will now appear inside the library. And to give you a very basics of how shooting mechanism works, we have uh, uh, you know, what we can say is a world item, where you have to just enable this option, simple weapon, and it will give you different configurable options, like whether it is a gun or a melee weapon, whether it is rifle or pistol. You can configure damage, fire rate, range, capacity, trail color, and everything, and those will be applied to the gun. Now you will ask, like, how do you assign how the player holds the gun? So for that, you have to turn on this pickable and you have to adjust this item in your hand. So you can see I can move the gun and click on apply. This will change like how the player holds the gun. And what about like how does the engine identify where the bullet will be fired? So it's pretty simple. You just have to adjust the fire point of the gun. You can see this arrow suggests like from where the bullet will go. Simple, super simple. I'm not writing any code. I'm just configuring things, and this particular 3D model is acting as a gun. You see how simple is that? So yeah, I mean that's how we toggle multiplayer and everything. Do we have any other questions regarding the platform and all? Even you can ask Vinesh if you have something in mind regarding the platform.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so can I import my custom models inside?
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely you can upload. So for custom model, you have to click here and you have to click upload file. Yes. Once you upload, you can select all your, you know, like any sort of file. So right now I'm uploading a GLB file of an explosion that we were working on. And if the file has some animation, it will show animations as well. And you can trigger these animations. You can scale it down. Let's say I want to make this explosion, you know, expand.
Okay.
So I can add another state, right? This is state one, this is state two. Let me put it away. And I can create a transition, like this. In 1 second, it will just expand like this. And to trigger this behavior, I can toggle any event, can explode, anything. And then trigger this event after maybe I collide with something. So let's say if I interact with this tree, so I'll turn on interaction, I'll name anything like explode, and then on event it will automatically show me like how to explode, like trigger this event, and on this event this transition will be triggered. So I'll show you how to play. Okay, since it's multiplayer, it's showing me all the different options again. Select a low poly character. So this explosion should expand, right? So if I go near the tree, it will ask me to interact. And if I press F, it is that simple. So yeah, you can add your custom models, and if it has animations, you can definitely import it. And regarding, since you've mentioned custom models, there is a good opportunity for all the 3D artists out there. So we have this library, and if you see, there's a community section. So this section is something where you should be uploading your 3D models and listing to our community. And this is the premium feature. Like if you are a premium member, you can list your models as premium member, and based on the usage of these models, you'll get some recurring revenues. So you see all these different users have uploaded their own 3D models. Some of them are premium, some of them are like basic ones. But yeah, the idea here is that you should be able to, we should be able to fill our community library with lots of talented 3D artists. Process is pretty simple. Click on My Own here. Then you have to click on Add Items, upload your file, whatever, or even if you uploaded your file previously, it will show you which file to be selected. If I select here, explosion, you have to just write name, description. This is make premium if you want to make this model as only premium only. Then you can toggle certain options here as well beforehand, so that like people can directly, when they import, everything is already there. They don't have to do anything, because we have done something similar to guns. So if I go here and click on guns, so these guns are pre-configured. Like the moment you put them inside the world, they will act as a weapon, hands down. You don't have to toggle any options. That's why we have this library system where you can turn on all these options. You can also have customizable, where you can select a material while uploading to the library. You can name the option and choose what should happen with that particular option. Like if there's a material name, and then do you want to change anything in the mesh? So you can toggle that thing with an option. And you can also write scripts. So if somebody really wants to write code and they want to have something custom, let me try to show. Okay, it's a wrong one. So if I upload any model, do we have open? Yeah, this is that custom thing that I was talking about. So you can actually name it and add a mesh. It will show you all the names of the meshes you have or the materials you have, and you can select whether you want to add a texture or a color, opacity. And this particular thing will come as a field inside custom setting, which users can toggle. Yeah. And you can always add a collection where you can add these models inside a collect, as a collection, so that we can reuse the same material. Yeah, over to you. Any more question?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you have an FBX file, like in here I can see like we are using GLB files everywhere, right? So
Sorry, can
let's
you
say,
repeat?
yeah. Hello?
Yeah, yeah. Can you repeat the question?
So in here we are able to upload GLB files, right?
Yes, yes.
So let's say like I have an animation, like I have a 3D file that is in FBX format. So with some
Yes.
custom animations and everything. So how do we
Yeah,
handle
yeah.
that here?
FBX is also supported. It's just that it is less recommended because it behaves little different with the environment lighting. So Zimension initially supported FBX only, but we recommended format is WebGL because the performance is good. I will also tell you like Zimension also support STL and one of the only platform where which support dot step format because it's a official like standardized CAD format for sharing engineering files. So dot step format is also something that we support which other game engines don't.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. You a lot of models here are FBX only. Like one some of the low poly models you see from the very early models, they are FBX models and which have certain files. So I'll show you. Maybe I'll have the strong tutor file. Uh, wait, mostly. Okay. So if I click on animated, so you see this sound trooper. This is a FBX model, very initial model, and it has an animation. See, right now it's not animating, but if I go here, you will see one animation available. If I click, now
Okay.
it is animating. So you can add hundreds of animation here. So for example, let's say there we add a zombie. So this zombie file has 3 to 7 animations. So you can see all these animations are there running. And I can toggle this animation based on any events in the world. Even from that tree and explosion, I can trigger any, and I can add multiple such behaviors where this particular zombie will react differently. And I can even move him with transition. So I can combine the walking animations and transition, and it will appear that the zombie is roaming around the world. It is covered in some of my long tutorials. And very surprising news for all the Zimension fans. We are working closely on system where if it detects it's a character, then it will add all those behaviors where it can follow you and attack you. Let's say you want to make all those zombies characters attack you and you want to shoot them. So, following a nav mesh in the world and attacking you or following you as a friend, that is now will be very soon possible in Zimension. So you don't have to do everything manually. Just define like this is a character, should follow you. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds very interesting actually.
Yeah. And it's free, yeah, guys. So for all the viewers who are watching, you just open dimension3d.com and you can create your games for free. And you can also use templates. For example, let's say there are a couple of files in featured and community which you can directly copy. So let's say this bolt on is there. So you can directly copy and edit this. So this game is not, they don't allow it to copy. So you are not able to do that. But most of the games you can directly copy and edit. This way you will get to see like how the templating works and how quickly you can change couple of things and make your own game. So yeah, that's why also very important thing. We do have added this 6 basic templates. This one is the VR template. So if somebody has a virtual reality device, so use this template, you'll be able to pick your gun, sword, and try it yourself. Anything regarding XR, Vignesh, like since
Yeah, like I want to understand one more thing before we move
Mhm.
to XR. Like, how does monetization work? Like, how do I, like, what is it? As a developer, as an indie developer, how do I make money from your platform?
Yes. So it's a very interesting questions. We are working on couple of other monetization models as well, but the primary monetization model is very similar to Roblox, where you can actually have an in-game. So you see these coins over here. It is showing zero. So users can actually buy these coins and they can spend this coin on different worlds. So let's say you are a game developer who have created a very amazing game on Zimension, and your game is so interesting that it has some perks inside the game. Like for 10 coins you will have more speed, or to skip a checkpoint, or to revive your user, you are spending some coins, right? So this way, in the analytics, it will show basically like how many coins have been spent. So this is the revenue, right? So this is expected revenue is this much. Like you have all these worlds and how many coins are selected, sorry, spend on your word, and based on that, it will show you a number of your expected revenues. And this math is directly interjected with like the value of coins when you purchase them, something like this. So if somebody have, or not somebody, if all the users combined have purchased or spent 10 more than 10,000 coins on your world, so you'll likely to win, likely to earn around 7,000 or something, 6,000, 7,000 rupees. But you have to make your game compelling so that people buy coins and spend on your world.
Okay, so we have to use coins in Zimension, right?
Yeah, it's again a very simple process. Let's say, I want to make this guy dance. If I spend, let's say 10 coins on this. So for that, I'm showing you how simple it is to even monetize it. So on interaction, there is a event called explode. So we'll create an event called purchase something. And on this event, we will trigger a purchase, right? And let me first add this event of dance, maybe. So on dance, this particular animation will be played in loop. Okay, otherwise it will just stand still. And this dance will be emitted once this purchase has been successful. So I'm creating a purchase here. The purchase pop-up should appear when this event is triggered, purchase that we created, we spelled. Okay, make him dance. Okay, and on successful purchase, I will trigger this dance event, and this is the cost, like 10 coins. I can put it 100 or one, anything. Okay, I'll add. All right. So if I go and play, okay, it's an online world again. Okay. So now if I go here, now it is asking me to purchase. So I cannot, this button is red over here because it is asking me you don't have enough coins. So I'll go here, I'll quickly buy the coins, do a transaction, and then if I use, then it will trigger this event where it will dance.
Understood.
Yes, right now I'm out of coins myself. I used to have money, but during the testing, I just spent a couple of coins by testing and showing. But yeah, you can always add any number of coins. So that way, you'll be able to monetize. So make something very fun and engaging. Like I've seen in Roblox, like say, let's say you have to enter the main area or fun area of a game. There is a long road, and you want to skip that long road, add a purchase, right? Or if some a checkpoint is very hard, or a level between two checkpoints is super hard that user wants to give up, so they can buy or purchase or skip to the next checkpoint. Or if you're dying, so go back to checkpoint with this purchase. Or you can even add some upgrades to your player as well with the purchase. So these sort of things will be there.
Okay.
Is it possible to add a JavaScript SDK for distribution across web platform? SDKs are as of now not supported or not recommended, but you can write your own code here. Because even if we go with the SDK workflow, we will go with a plugin, maybe not very soon though, but something of well authorized plugins which you can directly import into your platform. But yeah, as of now, if you want to code, there is a scripting feature only available for the premium user. All you have to, let's say you want to write code anyways. So there is a scripting where you can, there are, even the documentation is not out yet for security reason. But yeah, we can contact team, and if you want to add your custom code, we can help you with this. So you can write your code. This is a main core engine file, and you can use it to do all sort of things. And we do it for our enterprise projects internally.
Okay. I
Yeah.
have one more question.
Yeah.
we are able to publish this product, right? So can
Yeah.
I host it in my own website, or can I host it in any like Play Store or App Store or any store of like my choice, or like do you like
I'll
what is
tell
it?
you. So, if see, publishing is one thing. Publishing means like the link is generated, and that link is can be shared and opened. So, for example, you want to use that particular link on your website, so you can open an iframe. Just have a blank website, open a full screen iframe, and copy paste the link of your game. Simple. Number one. Let's say you want to export the game out, because the when you open the link, that link is opening Zimension game, which is running live. The engine is live. But let's say you want to take the game out, that so that even Zimension make any change or Zimension website is down, your game is not affected, or your game will not be
Lost.
affected even if you update or change any game logic or add new feature. So there is a button of export, so this export will export the entire binaries of the engine for you, and then you can upload those engine to the public folder and host it on your own website. So this way, that game that you're hosting will be completely independent of Dimension, apart from the multiplayer logic. Only multiplayer logic will not work because we are providing our own servers for the users.
Understood.
And when it comes to let's say you want to publish your game on Steam, so for that you have to export an exe version. Then you'll be able to export your game to Steam. And for once we launch the APK version, then you'll be able to upload on Play Store. App Store, I think it's a very difficult journey even for us to export the game out, but we're working on it because there is a lot of signing and file modulation. It's a very troublesome. Apple ecosystem is troublesome, and it is even though now Safari is also supporting Web GPU. It's a very big update, but still they want the native workflow. Apple prefer native workflow. So, but for Android exe, this thing is there. But if your application is running on web, then why you need to install on from App Store, right? Just share the link; it will open in Safari and will work very well. There is a system where you can add it to the home screen. So open your favorite game or dimension, click on options and add it to your home screen. So it will act as an application which will not be distinguishable at all. It will not show any browser bars or anything. It will directly open your application. So that way I only use Dimension and play games on my mobile phone. So
Okay.
that way. And even if you want to upload on, let's say, itch.io, so web build works there. You have to just export it and submit the build and it will work.
Okay. Because like I just wanted to understand, because like there are ways of exporting this file to, like, let's say like I want to try publish my game in web as well as in mobile phone. So in that case, like I was thinking maybe like I have to use WebView only. Like I'll have to create an application either in Unity or some other
Yes.
platform, and I'll have to open this as an WebView file, and that I can upload it as an APK. Or like in future you are going to provide APK
Yeah.
also.
Yes, yes. So even for this APK version that we are saying, we will be using the same thing where there's a web view which will open up the application, but it will have a very good file system. Otherwise, see, the application has to be local. That's the challenge that we are facing. You can always have an application which requires an internet. That is super easy even for us. But when we see export as an APK, that will actually generate all those files, optimize, build, and then put it inside the web view, which is accessible through the local file system of your app. It will not require, you know, internet basically.
Okay. So, like one last question, and then we
Yeah.
can close. So, do you have any future idea of like providing custom ad network or custom payment gateway? Like, do you have features for that?
Uh, Custom, no, 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 no. For that, if you want to add a custom payment gateway, this is a very interesting. You can do it with scripting though. Yeah, it is possible, but you have to take our help in that, and we will add you a couple of scripts inside it. So because how this purchase option work, right? So you have to follow the exact same route, but instead of the redirection come from the purchase side, it should be from your successful payment. So we have to set it up. We have to write custom script for it, and then you can definitely do. But it's a good point. Maybe I'll make a tutorial of how you can set up your own custom workflow. But yeah, the idea here is to keep people in Zimension, not move them out. So it will be better if they use our system or our in-game purchase. But yeah, you can always do everything with scripting.
Okay. Just like I wanted to understand all the options available. Okay.
So anything custom can be done via scripting.
Okay.
That is a premium feature of where you writing the script, and for custom support in writing the script and all, then that is a chargeable enterprise solution that based on the demand that we do internally, because the documentation is not out yet, but we are supporting all the early movers who want to develop something good in Zimension. So one good example is the community project that we are doing. So there will be a lot of custom scripting, but since Zimension is helping, so yeah, we help them with writing custom logics.
Excellent. Excellent
Yeah.
idea. That's great.
And we are open to, like, if there are any schools out there who are watching, who is into game development, we are very much open to collaborate with you guys, where we can conduct a session, conduct a workshop on how to create games, and even giving away premiums, on a very, very discounted price.
That is an excellent news.
Yeah.
People out there will definitely, like make use of it. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. I trust me. I'll tell you. I went to a workshop in IIT Madras, and there, they students were there to participate in a game development competition. There were like very, very basic laptops and machines they brought, and they were able to create game on those machines. Imagine. And one of the guy who participated and actually won the competition, he used my platform. He asked me, he called me like, can we use your platform? I said, why? I mean, there are other platforms. He said, your platform is the only platform that works in my computer lab of the institute. Other Unity cannot install, Unreal never works. So your platform is actually very good to showcase how the game development work, and it is the best example. So I said, okay, you can use it. So I mean, since it's a very lightweight platform and runs in your web browser, no installation is required. It is a very good thing for early movers or students who and beginners to understand how the game development works and all. It's a perfect fit for entering this space in this industry.
That's wonderful. And yeah, definitely it is. Like it has like a lot of potential. I can see,
Yes.
like lots and lots of use cases that I can imagine only.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Audience, any questions from your side? Any more questions? Okay. So I
Yeah.
think it is time that we conclude. And
Yeah.
if audience, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave it as comments. So we will
Yeah.
keep
We'll respond in the comments.
definitely we will be responding in comments, and yeah. So like I think we can conclude. Zeeshan.
All right then. So this was Zeeshan Ahmad Khan, and uh, if you have any questions, you can always budge me up through Zeeshan at the rate Zimension3D.com. Pretty simple email address. And if you want to try, just simply go to Zimension3D.com. You can scan this QR code, and this is the website URL. You are free to write anything in the feedback. Just I'm giving my personal email. It's like Zimension3D.Zishan at the rate Zimension3D.com. So that's me. I hope we conduct more and more such session, maybe a live tutorial next time. And yeah, that's wonderful connecting with you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Zeeshan.
Yeah.
Like, thank you so much for starting your Monday morning with us.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you
yes.
so much, every audience. Like even though it is Sunday, like I can see a lot of people coming in asking questions, and we had a very decent session today. And like thank you so much for sharing such an insightful session with us. And we
Yeah,
learned a lot, and like we couldn't wait to explore Zimension more. And we do
yeah,
have like a lot of questions, and we do have a lot of like what to say, like a lot of explorations to do. So that will be coming up, and we really hope that we host such interesting sessions, and we do hope to like host you in our future sessions as well, Mr. Zeeshan.
yes, yes, yes.
Thank you everyone. Thank you so much for
Thank
participating
you.
here today.
Yeah,
Thank you IMSK. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody. Bye.
yes. Bye.